Hey, Laura, how's it going?
Hey, Carrie. I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm doing pretty well. It's been a busy few weeks. We've been gone for a hot minute, but as always, guys, we want to talk to you about this amazing little drink. Is it in the camera? It is. Magic Mind. Magic Mind. And Laura, I know that it benefits you a lot because you're busy. You got work, and then Zane has like 900 extracurricular activities. So, how does it help you keep track of all that and keep on top of all that?
Well, I mean, it helps me with clarity and just being focused,
Yeah.
which is really helpful when, I'm going straight from work to rugby to Cub Scouts to whatever it is. So, yeah, exactly. So every night of the week, I have a long day and it's good to keep me on task so I can get through it all.
Yeah, it's really great. It contains lion's mane and cordyceps mushrooms that, like you said, boost your clarity and your focus. And it tastes really great. You can, if you don't like the taste, you don't want to take just like the little shot out of the fridge, you can pour it in your coffee, you can put it in your protein shake, whatever. And it really helps. It really has helped me cut down on the amount of coffee that I drink constantly. So I'm also saving money on that as well. So it's a total game changer, guys. We highly recommend Magic Mind. Do want to let you know that for the next 10 days, you guys can get 40% off of your subscription. All you have to do is go to magicmind.co/HOAH and enter in our code HOAH and get onto wellness. You save money, no more jitters, no more coffee. I mean, it's really, really great. We cannot recommend it enough. Again, magicmind.co/HOAH and enter in the discount code for 40% off your subscription, HOAH. And now let's get to the ghosts.
Hi.
Hi, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween to you.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Your costume looks fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you. So does
Uh-huh.
yours. Super excited when you sent me the picture. I was like, I love it. It's so great.
Nice. So,
Yeah, it's really great. And you've had this costume idea for a while now, haven't you?
yes. So, I am Beetlejuice, and I watched the movie, which I hadn't seen in ages,
Oh God, yeah.
with my niece a few months back, I guess, and I was like,
Oh yeah,
we decided that we were gonna do that for Halloween. So
that's cool.
I think she's still gonna do it. Preteens, they change their mind, but I am
1,000%.
in it to win it.
Right? Yeah, she
I
was gonna be
invested,
Lydia. She was gonna be Lydia, right?
right?
Yeah, yeah.
So yes,
That's very cool. I love it.
hmm
I love it. I am the Mad Hatter.
love it.
And thank you. This was actually chosen by the listeners and family and friends. So a few months ago, I had put out a thing on all the social media and was like, which one should I be? And it was between this, the red, the Queen of Hearts from Alice in Wonderland, and then Betty Rubble. So this costume won hands down. So I am the Mad Hatter, and I have my tea, which is wine, obviously, and then my wine is here, a little flower vase with flowers in it. So as my tea lessens, I'll refill it out of my flower vase because that's what mad people do.
I love it. Then
So, yes, happy Halloween, guys. Welcome to our Halloween special episode. As you saw in the title and in The show notes, we are not telling you what we're covering until, well, we get started in the story. But as always, we've got EVPs, endless vocal prattling. And we've got a lot to cover, guys, because we haven't been with you in 2 weeks. So there's lots to talk about, right, Laura? We went to London and Paris.
This
and we were so busy from the minute we landed, that I wanted to do like more Facebook lives and things like that. We were going to try to do an episode from in front of the Tower of London, and it was just busy. Like Laura planned every single day, and she stuffed so much stuff into every day. We just didn't have time.
It sounded like it wasn't fun. Like I was like,
it was a ton of fun, but we just didn't have time to do the Facebook Lives like I wanted to do and things like that. I did do one, though. Mackenzie and I, your niece, did one at the base of the Eiffel Tower when it lit up and was all twinkly before we went up to the very top. I did do one Facebook Live, and that was it. But otherwise, yeah, we were just on the go literally the minute we all landed, got to the hotel, dropped off our stuff, freshened up. And the first stop was the British Museum. And it just went like that until we left. Really. It was a remarkable trip. I had the best time. You guys, I saw Versailles. I got to see Versailles. I was so excited.
you were like a kid in a candy store.
1,000%. And then so Laura and her son Zane split off, and then me and her niece Mackenzie split off. And when we came, we regrouped because it was so packed. And so we kind of like went in different directions. And then when we met back up, Laura's like, here, have a macaron from La Durée. And I was like, okay, I've had them before. It was the best I've ever had in the whole world. It was.
La Durée is some of the best. And yeah, people think they know, oh, I've had macarons. No, you haven't.
Yeah, right. That's what I said.
It's a very different thing when you have a proper one versus like when you pick up here and there. It's not the same thing because they kind of melt in your mouth, and the taste is very specific to whatever flavor you get, and very intense. They're very sweet, but in like a good way.
Yes,
I enjoy them.
Yeah, you got me the salted caramel one, and oh my god, I died. So then, like later when we were in Paris. I stopped at one of their shops and I bought a box of them and brought them home. They didn't last long.
No, they don't. I usually bring them home too. I did discover that there are, I think in New York there might be a store as well, but there's a couple in California. So when I happened to be at the Glendale Galleria, and I didn't know that there was a store there, but I walked by, I was all, La Durée, what? No.
Stop it!
$50 later, I was stuffed in macarons.
Seriously. Sorry, guys. I'm going to be adjusting my hat a lot during this episode because I've got it on over my headphones, which are over my wig. So it's a thing. And if you watched last year's Halloween episode, I had the same freaking problem. So Laura found earbuds, which big cheater. But yeah, so sorry about that. But there are 2 in Washington, D.C. too. Which is just
so
3 hours up the road. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so there are some stateside, not just in Europe. So if you happen to pass by one, I would highly recommend it. I know they're pricey.
They are pricey. Mm-hmm.
But it's a nice little treat.
Yeah.
If you haven't had one before, they're pretty amazing.
They're so good. My God, I can't even deal with how good they are. So Laura, what was your favorite part in London and then in Paris?
The Tower of London was pretty cool.
Oh God, I love that place so much.
The Egyptian Museum, or the Egyptian part of the British Museum is pretty incredible. I mean, I know that they have pilfered and Egypt wants them back.
And Greece too.
So there's Easter Island wants everybody wants their stuff back from Britain basically, but
right.
If you happen to be there, I've seen a lot of Egyptian exhibits, other places, big museums. That one is by far, I would say, the best that I have seen.
That's cool.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah. How about Paris? You've been to Paris a ton of times though. So what was your favorite part
Yes.
of Paris?
I think.
You
I mean, it
can't
was
say
really
Latteray.
nice to see it. Yeah, I mean, every time. Um, it was really nice. The ghost tour was fun.
Oh God, it was so
Because
fun.
I hadn't done that. And then well, I'd have to say Versailles because it was like the one thing that we really did that I haven't done before.
Oh, cool. Okay.
But experiencing it with Zane and Mackenzie, although they were kind of bratty, um,
Right.
was fun. Like going to the, just being able to see their face when they saw the Eiffel Tower light up and that kind
Oh
of stuff is
God, yeah.
it's pretty cool to be able to do that.
Yeah, yeah. They enjoyed the ghost tour too, especially Zane, because he ended up being the tour guide's like little buddy, walking along with him, and we were like in the back, and Zane's like walking along in the front with the tour guide. We were like, all right, well, as long as we can keep an
Zane's
eye
a
on you.
history buff.
Oh my God, this kid, you guys, I, he is so no, he's 9. He's so knowledgeable about wars and specific battles and like specific people
He's
in I
really into
was
World War II,
yes.
and he is on the spectrum, and so and he has ADHD. So when he gets focused on something, he is all about it. So
Laser
he's
focused, yeah.
been yeah. So he's been really obsessed with it. So it was kind of a really cool time to take him because I get to show him some places and buildings where you can see the bullet where the bullets had hit and stuff like that. That was pretty cool. So
Yeah, and that was by I'm gonna butcher this.
Place de la Concorde.
Yes, where Marie Antoinette was beheaded. Laura had our first day in Paris was all for Carrie. So we went to Versailles, then we did the Paris catacombs. We went and saw where Marie Antoinette and Louis XVI were beheaded. The ghost tour, it was wonderful. Or no, Eiffel Tower, and then the next night was the ghost tour.
Right.
But yeah, so this building still had bullet holes in it from World War II, and just being in France, Zane was like, did you know this? And did you know that? And did you know this? And like stuff that they don't actually teach you in school about World War II. This kid knows. Kept looking at Laura like, what? It's like walking with somebody who's on the History Channel. He knows so much.
He's super into it. And now in school,
Yeah.
I know they're covering the plague. So it was really cool that we got to go like Tower of London and some of those places. So,
Yes, absolutely. I have to say, everybody, if you get the chance to go to London, I highly recommend doing the London Dungeon. That was so fun and so entertaining and so informational, really.
yeah, it was such a great way to take the kids and not be like shoving.
Yes.
So basically you go in and they have actors and they take you through a series of like rooms and stuff, and they do like dramatizations, and they're funny and witty, and there's like props and it's fun.
It's interactive with the audience, with the guests.
Yeah. They harass you. It's really fun.
Yeah.
But it was a really cool way for the kids to learn stuff without us being like, look at this building. It's super important.
Exactly.
I swear. It's
Yeah.
like it's shoving it down their throat. They like learned a bunch of stuff. So then when we did see stuff, they were like, oh, okay, that makes sense. All right. So
Yes.
pretty cool.
It was very good way. Very good way. They went, so you, like Laura said,
I think you and I had the best time.
Dude, the best time. They went through like different important events in London's history. So Henry VIII and all of his wives, and the plague, the Great Fire in London. They covered Jack the Ripper. It was really, really interesting. And there was one part, I got to tell you guys, because they didn't allow cameras, so we couldn't like film or anything. But there was one part where you go into this room and everybody's seated on benches, kind of like a half circle. And then the actor was talking about the plague.
No, but you can't ruin it for people, because what if they go then?
Oh, no. Okay. Well, she dug his guts out of his body. There, spoiler. And then other stuff happened that made Mackenzie and I jump. It was not great. There are some jump scares, but they're not like really, really bad. And you do see them coming. But and then there's a ride at the end. Oh, and then you go in, first thing you get in a boat, right? You get in a boat.
Thing,
yeah. So there's some rides in it as well. And I just had the best time. I cannot recommend the London Dungeon enough, you guys, really. And we went on the London Eye. That was really cool. I'd never done that. else? Oh, and then Paris, Versailles. Also, one of the things I loved the most was it's so cliche, it's so touristy, but I got to drink champagne at the very top of the Eiffel Tower, and I was just like in my element. I was like, this is where I belong.
Which I will say, I warned you, is not that fun to go up.
No.
And I have like a heights thing, but it's not terrible. Like I do all kinds of, I've rappelled, I've, like go zip lining, all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
I can do things. It's not like I'm petrified. I just don't love it. I'm not a happy person until I'm back on the ground.
Right.
But I warned Carrie that the Eiffel Tower, when you get up there,
Yeah.
like you can feel it move. And if it happens to be windy, like it moves quite a bit. And it's very, it can be super claustrophobic too, because no matter when you go, we were off season, like on a Wednesday night or whatever.
It was one of the last times to go up. Like I think,
Right.
it was like 9:30 at night, 10 o'clock.
It's always packed. It's just packed. So it's kind of claustrophobic. It moves. If you don't like that, it's not super fun. And the view really is from the ground of the Eiffel Tower, not up on top.
Yes, really, it is. Was very beautiful to see, the Arc de Triomphe lit up, and that was lovely. But it moves. I think we were waiting for the elevator to go back down, and I was standing there, and I was like, Laura, is this fucking thing moving? And she was like, I told you. And I'm like, oh my God, like holding onto the wall, like, but I don't have a heights thing. I don't. I never have. This changed everything for me because
I'm glad I could ruin your life.
Thank you for that, asshole.
I did warn you.
So everybody, you did, yes. But I was just like, oh, that's just because you have a heights thing. No, guys, no. Listen. So everybody knows what the Eiffel Tower looks like, right? So it's on like it's got 4 legs that stick out, and then it goes up into this teeny tiny tower at the top. Great. The first elevator, because you have to take 2, you go up kind of like an incline. The thing I can liken it to is the Washington inclines in Pittsburgh. You just kind of go
like a funicular more than
right. Yeah, you just kind of go up like
an elevator.
Angled. Yeah. Okay, great. Then you get to the second level. You got to take the next elevator. Well, that elevator is mainly glass. So, okay, fine. You get in the elevator and you're looking down because you're crammed in there with a ton of people. The problem with this, what creeped me out, was that because it gets smaller and smaller the higher up you go, you can no longer see the ground below you. It's disappeared. So you're just in this glass box going up. The illusion of it, the optical illusion of it is very scary. And I was like, get me off of this. I can't. It was awful. And then Mackenzie did have a bit of a little anxiety thing because there were so many people.
There was a lot of people and the heights. She was certainly ready to go down.
She absolutely was. Yeah. In fact, she actually
we
sat
were all right behind her.
Yeah. She sat down on the ground, in like a corner. And I wanted Laura and I to do a Facebook Live for the podcast from the very top, but there were so many people. It was just like, all right, let's just get a quick picture and let me slug down this glass of champagne. And, I took a cute picture and with my champagne at the top of the Eiffel Tower. And then we were like, all right, let's go. It's time to get out of here. But otherwise, it was an amazing trip. We had a ton of fun. We had a ton of laughs. I had the best Caesar salad I've ever had my entire life, and I'm going back to Paris just to go back to that restaurant.
Which I think is hilarious. Out of all the food in France and
Caesar salad, I was like,
Caesar salad was like your jam.
It was my jam. I'll tell you what. Also, I don't typically drink wine out of a teacup, so when I do, it's sloshing and getting going on my upper lip, and I'm like, oh God, excuse me.
Listen, we all know that you're just throwing it back.
Mm-hmm. Essentially, yes. So that was our London and Paris trip, and we had a really great time. Westminster Abbey, the whole bit, and then we got home, and I promptly got the flu. And was sick.
You were super sick.
super, super sick. Wanted to die. It was awful. Which is ironic because I had a flu shot like a month ago, like a month before. But I can only imagine what it would have been like had I not been vaccinated for it. So I got sick. We got home on the 10th, worked that week. And then the following week, I was really sick and I was like working a couple hours a day, work from home. And then on the 19th, Wednesday, I got laid off from Fairway again. So I am once again jobless. And so that was my update. The following weekend, the very next day, I had a death in the family, and my best friend Jennifer's grandmother, who was also like a grandmother to me, passed away. She was 91, and she was 91, and so then my mom and I left real quickly, and went to Pittsburgh for the funeral. And then I did apply for a job to be a paranormal tour guide for a tour company that has a tour that they do in downtown Raleigh. So I've been interviewing with them and doing audition videos, and so hopefully something amazing will come of that. And that's how I
job for you,
dude, isn't it? I would
right?
I would absolutely love it. I would love it. So yeah, I'm hoping that that I get the job and that, because you have to commit a year to them and at least 3 nights a week. And I was like, dude, I'll do 6 nights a week. I don't care. This will be great. So yeah. So that's what I have been doing with my time off from the show since we got home. How about you? What have you been doing? Cub Scouts and
Seriously?
What is it? Rugby?
Yes.
Oh,
Rugby.
okay.
Rugby season started, so it's 2 practices a week, and then he's had like Cub Scout activity at least like once a week, and just trying to keep my shit together. So like that's about it.
It's not like you had any kind of like downtime from the trip, like kind of like a vacation from the vacation. Like you were basically like, okay, we're home and tomorrow's rugby and then the Cub Scouts. And then I was like, oh, wow. All right. Well, I'm just going to die over here of the flu.
Hit the ground running. So yeah, so it's just, this is kind of a busy time of year for us. And it will be, this month is crazy busy. And then next month, rugby takes a break and, holidays, but my best friend's coming into town. So, which is super exciting, but
oh, yay. It's a shame she couldn't meet us in Paris.
I know, but we will, her kids had school, so it was hard. And then the little one, I think it's a lot of cold, but, yeah, we'll definitely be doing something
good
eventually, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure. I can't wait to meet her. I mean, I know
a hoot.
you can wait for me to meet her because we'll talk shit about you, but
Probably.
I mean,
she's a hoot. So I'm really looking forward to that. That'll be good times.
That's wonderful. Love it. That's awesome.
And Halloween. I'm getting ready. I have the coolest. I've been decorating. It's going to be amazing.
It is going to be amazing. Last year was our first Halloween in our new home, and Coy had always... He had always wanted you just moved in right before Halloween, didn't you?
Yeah, the movers came the next day.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Coy had always wanted to be that house that gives out full-size candy bars, so we did that last year, and we got them from Costco, and they were 2 boxes of 30 full-size candy bars. Well, we ran out of candy about an hour and 45 minutes into trick-or-treating. So this year, the neighborhood, because I live in a brand new development, it's pretty much done, as are the neighboring developments. So there's way more kids. So this year, he wanted to do it again because now we've set a precedent, right? Now we're known as the house that gives out full-size candy bars. We had to order 5 boxes this year.
Wow. I did 3 boxes from Costco.
Yeah.
The full-size one. But because my neighborhood is gated, there are a lot of kids in it.
Yeah.
But... usually it's just the kids that live here, so I can't imagine that I would run out.
Oh God, I hope 150 candy bars. I hope I don't run out.
Yeah, for real.
But yeah, We're gonna have to just be real particular because last year, like, the parents were like, "Oh, I love that," and I'm like, "You can have one," like, And my neighborhood is so fucking cool. Like, people grill out, and like, the neighbors kind of congregate in everyone's driveway, and this one house grills, and so you can go over and get a hot dog or a hamburger, and then three houses in the neighborhood are giving out Jello shots to the parents, and it's such a
That's how my
fun.
neighborhood is too.
Yes,
It's a hoot. Yeah.
yes,
People were
it's
giving me
so
shots
fun.
last year and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty funny.
So exciting. Yeah, it's really lovely to be a part of a community like this. So we're really looking forward to it. My mom's like, "You should get dressed up in your costume." And I'm like, "Oh, you know what? I might." It's a little hot. I'm going to be real honest with you guys. This is freaking polyester. It's like the sleeves are tight and like the wig is hot. Haven't had long hair in forever. But we'll be outside, and I think the high is like supposed to be like 61 that day. So I think I should be okay.
Nice. I'm gonna put a fire pit out in my driveway and
That's going to
finish
be so
decorating. And I'm
freaking
totally
cool.
gonna be in costume, and we're gonna. I'm gonna sit outside and
I love it.
um, yeah, and hand out candy, and
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to it. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, guys, that is what we have been doing in the 2 weeks that we have been away from you. We have missed you very, very much. We have a really cool show to bring you tonight. And yeah, I guess that's it. Let's go ahead. I'm like, I don't know what I'm out of practice. I don't know how to do this. Also, I don't have my script up, so please hold the line. Okay. Yeah, hold on just a sec. Uh-oh, hold on. I'm having problems. Okay. Yeah, this isn't working. All right. We are going to be right back while I find my script. You guys sit tight. For you, it'll be just a teeny blip of time. Hang on. All right, guys, we're back. My script wasn't loading. Sorry. Anyway. So this is, like I said at the beginning, this is our Halloween special. And we were being kind of secretive about it because you guys always know what the episode is before we announce it on the show. So this time, we're not going to tell you anything except for right now when Laura gives the sources and tells you who we're covering tonight.
Okay, so sources first: Britannica.com, LiveScience.com, NBCNews.com, learnnodo.newtonic.com / Dracula-facts. So now you kind of know a little bit.
No.
And rent.com. So we are covering Vlad the Impaler. Woohoo!
Yay!
Contract.
Hashtag Count Dracula, yes. So, yes, we are covering Vlad the Impaler. Hold on, what is the problem now? Good note. Even my system isn't working and doing its normal thing. Okay, yes, he is the inspiration for Dracula. So we decided that he would be a great topic to discuss on our Halloween episode. Laura, it's one of those, guys, like we like to do sometimes, part and parcel. Laura's going to do the first half. I'm bringing it home with the second half. So, Laura, go ahead and let's get started on this crazy motherfucker. My hat!
I love it.
Oh, no!
Count Dracula is one of the most famous characters in literature, created by Bram Stoker as the main antagonist of his 1897 horror novel, Dracula. The character has since achieved legendary status and has been featured in hundreds of movies and novels, and I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Legends of vampires go back centuries, but few names have cast more terror into the human heart than Dracula.
Yes.
However, the fictional character created Stoker was in fact based on a real historical figure called Vlad the Impaler.
Sounds like a lovely fellow.
Right? So Dracula is linked to Transylvania, but the real historic Dracula, Vlad III, never owned anything in Transylvania. Bran Castle, a modern-day tourist attraction in Transylvania that is often referred to as Dracula's Castle, was never the residence of the, I'm going to do my best, Wallachian prince.
You know what? I buy it. I say we go with that because I was going to say it however you said it when I get to my part, so Wallachian it is.
All right. Vlad the Impaler, in full Vlad III Dracula, or Romanian Vlad III Draculia, also called Vlad III or Roman Vlad Tepes, born 1431 in Sighisoara, Transylvania, which is now in Romania, and he died in 1476 north of present-day Bucharest in Romania.
Isn't that somewhere that you've been or want to go?
I want to go to Romania to do something called the Monkey Run, which you ride these kid-size,
That's right.
um, like little motorcycles around the country for like a week, and that's your transportation, and it
Yeah, that's what
sounds like the most fun
I
I've
mean.
ever heard.
I think it would be kind of.
I so want to do them. They have them in a couple other places, but I think it would be fun to do it there too.
I think it would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
And we can go to castles. Um,
That's our next big trip, guys.
right. So the military governor or prince of Wallachia, whose cruel methods of punishing his enemies gained notoriety in 15th century Europe. So Vlad was the second of four brothers born into the noble family of Vlad II Dracul. His sobriquet Dracula, meaning son of Dracul, was derived from the Latin Draco, meaning dragon, after his father's induction into the Order of the Dragon, created by Holy Roman Emperor Sigismund for the
Oh, okay.
defense of Christian Europe against the Ottoman Empire. You always know the Catholic Church is behind it. Vlad moved to Targovice, Wallachia, in 1436 when his father assumed leadership of the Wallachian Principality. When Vlad II was called to a diplomatic meeting in 1442 with Ottoman Sultan Murad II, he brought his young sons Vlad III and Radu along. But the meeting was actually a trap. All three were arrested and held hostage. The elder Vlad was released under the condition that he leave his sons behind. Some argue that Vlad II sent Vlad Jr. and his brother Radu Selfrumos as royal hostages to the Ottoman court.
What a dick.
Right? Totally not cool.
Just keep my kids. Just let me go and you can have them.
I mean, I've been there. Like, I totally get it. I mean, it's kind of like summer camp.
Listen,
But maybe
sometimes
not
you just
fun.
want to, offload those kids.
I get it. Especially if they're teenagers or
I
preteens.
mean,
They're fucking
kind
fun.
of, yeah. Right? Go to your grandfathers. Go to your grandparents. I think your dad wants
I
to
think
see
you
you.
need to go see the Sultan. Fuck off.
Right.
All right. So the Sultan held Vlad and his brothers as hostages to ensure that their father, Vlad II, behaved himself in the ongoing war between Turkey and Hungary.
Oh, okay.
Under the Ottomans, Vlad and his younger brother were tutored in science, philosophy, and the arts.
Okay.
See,
So
it's summer camp. According to
the
Rodney
worst summer
Florescu
camp ever.
and Raymond McNally, Vlad also became a skilled horseman and warrior.
Uh-oh.
So hey,
That's not great.
precursor.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just
This
saying.
is what's
There's
called
little foreshadowing.
foreshadowing.
Exactly. So they were treated reasonably well by the current standards of the time, Miller said. I mean, that sounds
That
bad.
doesn't sound, yeah. Mm-mm.
The
No.
14th century or the 15th century wasn't known for its like good times.
It wasn't warm and fuzzy, no.
No,
No.
no. That's like Tower of London times. Like, let's put you on the rack kind of
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
That's not cool.
Yeah, exactly. What was that one torture device that Mackenzie and I saw? It was called something like the
Was it the tongue ripper outy thing? That's what I call it. That's the specific name, in case you're wondering.
I think you're right. Yes. No, it was something called like the
Fires.
stepdaughter's revenge or something. It was like this metal cage that didn't really look, it wasn't very big, but it was like put over, you were in like a fetal position and they were stuffed in this cage that had like spikes. I can't
Oh,
remember.
on the inside, yeah.
Yeah, it was awful. So,
good
yeah,
times.
I don't want to go to that camp, Laura.
Yeah, the standards of the time kind of sucked. All right.
Yeah.
But still, the captivity pissed off Vlad, whereas his brother sort of acquiesced and went over to the Turkish side.
Sure. Sure.
But Vlad held enmity And I think it was one of his motivating factors for fighting the Turks to get even with them for having held him captive.
Well, yeah, if he was irritated by it and he was trained as a warrior. This is all just building up to bad times at Ridgemont High.
I mean, pretty much.
Yeah.
So while Vlad and Radu were in Ottoman hands, Vlad's father was fighting to keep his place as vo- Vojvodi of Wallachia.
The military governor or
Basically,
prince.
yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, a fight he would eventually lose. So
Neat.
in 1447, Vlad II was ousted as ruler of Wallachia by local noblemen and was killed in the swamps near Balteni, which was halfway between, I'm really sorry about the pronunciation on these, Targovisti and Bucharest in present-day Romania.
There goes all our Romanian listeners.
Right. Sorry for that one person.
Right.
Vlad's older brother, Mircea, was tortured, blinded, and buried alive. Well, fuck, it might have been better to stay at the summer camp.
I mean, Jesus, that's awful. Blinded and buried alive. Ugh.
Yeah, no thing. I'm going to pass. Hard pass.
Thank you.
I'd like to go to the camp.
Can I go to the camp? Yeah.
Right. Can I go be a horseman? I'm ready. Learn some science. Okay, so not long after these harrowing events in 1448, Vlad embarked on a campaign to regain his father's seat from the new ruler, Vladislav II.
Was everybody in this country just named Vlad at varying degrees of Vlad? Vladislav,
yeah.
Vlad.
Vlad squared.
Right.
Vlad cubed.
And then his poor little brother Radu.
Right? Like he wasn't, he was clearly not the favorite.
Not good enough.
Even a Vlad.
He wasn't even a Vlad, yeah.
So his first attempt at the throne relied on the military support of the Ottoman governors of the cities along the Danube River in northern Bulgaria, according to Kurta. Vlad also took advantage of the fact that Vladislav was absent at the time, having gone to the Balkans to fight the Ottomans for the governor of Hungary at that time, John Hunyadi.
When I first read that, I read John Hyundai. You know, the car manufacturer in Romania and Bucharest or wherever.
10-year warranty. So Vlad won his father's seat, but his time as ruler of Wallachia was short-lived. He was deposed after only 2 months when Vladislav II returned and took back the throne of Wallachia with the assistance of Hunyadi, or Hyundai, as he was also known. Little is known about Vlad III's whereabouts between 1448 and 1456, but it is known that he switched sides in the Ottoman-Hungarian conflict, giving up his ties with the Ottoman governors of the Danube cities and obtaining military support from King Ladislaus the Fifth of Hungary.
Are you sure it's not good King Wenceslas?
Yeah, whatever.
No, it's not a happy Christmas story.
It could be. Who happened to dislike Vlad's rival, Vladislav II of Wallachia, who we know is just terrible, right?
I mean, awful. Well, he's really great guy when we get further into this.
Oh, okay, cool. So Vlad III's political and military attack truly came to the forefront amid the fall of Constantinople in 1453.
God, this is so long ago.
Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
Istanbul.
Don't make me do math, Laura. You know I'm bad at it.
All right. After the fall, the Ottomans were in a position to invade all of Europe. In July 1456, as the Ottomans and Hunyadi's forces were locked in battle, Vlad led a small force of exiled noblemen, Hungarians, and Romanian mercenaries against his old enemy, Vladislav II, at Targovist. He had the satisfaction of killing his mortal enemy and his father's assassin in hand-to-hand combat.
Wow, all right. So Vladislav II is out.
Ixnade.
Ixnade. All right. And Hyundai is in. along with Vlad and Volkswagen.
Right.
Good.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I'm on track. Cool.
So Vlad, who had already solidified his anti-Ottoman position, was proclaimed the new
Governor.
general governor of Wallachia in 1456. One of his first orders of business in his new role was to stop paying an annual tribute to the Ottoman Sultan, a measure
Oh,
that had formerly ensured peace between Wallachia and the Ottomans.
cool. That ought to go over real well.
I mean, they love that.
I mean, if Game
To
of Thrones has taught us nothing, it's that you don't stop paying your tribute.
and get dragons. To consolidate his power as the governor, Vlad needed to quell the incessant conflicts that had historically taken place between Wallachia's boyars, which are their noble,
Yeah.
during a banquet given by him at the palace in Targovist. So Vlad the Impaler ordered the impaling of some 500 noblemen. Maybe it was really only 50, but 500 sounds good.
It sounds real dramatic for the story. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah.
So with
Maybe
the
it was a
accusation,
typo. Or maybe it just maybe it was a typo. Maybe they accidentally just hit the zero and they were typing this up.
maybe. With the accusation that their shameless disunity was the cause of the frequent changing of the princes in Wallachia.
Maybe that's because they kept dying.
I mean, it's possible.
I mean, that could be a thing too. Let's look into that.
This is just one of many gruesome events that earned Vlad his posthumous nickname, Vlad the Impaler. This story and others like it are documented in printed material from around the time of Vlad III's rule.
Which
In
is
the
Vlad the Impaler. They're the same.
Yeah.
Yes, right? Yes.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Because his father was
Too
Vlad
many
the
Vlads and
Second.
Vladislavs and
There's far too many.
Vladislav.
There's far too many.
So in the 1460s and 1470s, just after the invention of the printing press, a lot of these stories about Vlad
Wait, I'm
were
sorry, what?
circulating.
The printing press was invented in the 1470s?
Mm-hmm.
I had no idea it had been around that long.
Well, now you know.
I do know, and now I'm a little fucking irritated because my printer never works. You've been around this long. Give me a break. It's always like not connected to the network. Hey, listen. Get your shit
Works,
together.
It just is all streaky, so it only kind of works.
Or maybe we need to go back to the old timey printy press. Printy press?
Maybe.
Whatever. Go on.
I don't know. Whiteout was a bitch.
My hat, quit making me laugh. God damn it.
Right. So a lot of these stories about Vlad were circulating orally, much like Carrie, and then put together by different individuals in pamphlets and printed.
I also have
whether or
pamphlets.
not
Give me a
these
call.
stories are wholly true or significantly embellished is debatable. After all, many of those printing the pamphlets were hostile to Vlad III. But some of the pamphlets from his time tell almost the exact same gruesome stories about Vlad, leading Miller to believe that the tales were at least partially historically accurate.
Well, I mean, one person, okay, maybe it's a lie. Two people, okay, maybe it's a rumor. But like 100 people, there might actually be something to this. You know?
I agree.
Okay, good. Thank you.
That's what I'm here for. Support.
We're here to debate this right now. Getting to the bottom of it, guys.
Some of these legends were also collected and published in a book called The Tale of Dracula, which came out in 1490, if you're looking for it at your local newsstand, by a monk who presented Vlad III as a fierce but just ruler.
Sure.
Right. Vlad is credited with impaling dozens of Saxon merchants in Kronstadt, which is present-day Brasov, Romania, who were once allied with the noblemen in 1456. I mean, fuck the Saxons. Around the same time, a group of Ottoman envoys allegedly had an audience with Vlad, but declined to remove their turbans, citing a religious custom. Commending them on their religious devotion, Vlad ensured that their turbans would forever remain on their heads by reportedly having the head coverings nailed to their skulls, according to McNally and Florescu.
Okay. Well, that's it's a bit extreme.
It's a little gruesome.
And I certainly would never, I don't want, well, this hat's pretty cool. So I wouldn't mind having this nailed to my skull when I'm dead.
Yeah.
I actually might have to nail it to my skull right now because it keeps popping off.
All right, so after Mehmet II, the one who conquered Constantinople, invaded Wallachia in 1462, he actually was able to go all the way to Wallachia's capital city of Targovist, but found it deserted. And in front of the capital, he found the bodies of the Ottoman prisoners of war that Vlad had taken, all impaled. Impaling is a particularly gruesome form of torture and death, as you would imagine.
It doesn't sound pleasant.
No.
It
Don't
doesn't
sign
sound
up
like
for
no, it's just not a spa treatment, guys.
that. No. If that's offered at the camp, this makes it sound terrible. At the summer camp that they went to, don't do that. A wood or metal pole is inserted through the body, either front to back or vertically through the rectum or vagina.
Oh, God. Okay.
So everybody now cross your legs being uncomfortable.
1,000%. I literally just was like, yikes.
No. The exit wound could be near the victim's neck, shoulders, or mouth.
Yeah.
In some cases, the pole was rounded, not sharp, to avoid damaging internal organs and thereby prolonging the suffering of the victim.
Neat.
I mean, if you're going to do something.
This guy earned his fucking reputation, I'll tell you what.
He sure did.
Yeah.
The pole was then raised vertically to display the victim's torment. It could take hours or days for the impaled person to die.
Yeah. I mean, it's really fucking terrible. And the idea of even just being able to see what that must have looked like. Let's take a look.
And here you are.
And here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is one of the earlier drawings of this whole situation. You can see the bodies impaled. That doesn't look great. I can only imagine the smell and all the flies. Vlad is sitting there.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah, gross. The Vlad is sitting there eating a fine meal, looking up at his trophies, I guess.
This picture, which you guys can see on our social media if you're not following us on YouTube, looks a little bit like it would have been a wood carving, maybe that they had actually used in the press.
Yeah. Oh, goddamn this hat. Sorry, I just yelled at my hat.
Impale it!
No.
Later.
Yeah, later I will. I actually will because I have last year's hat on my wall. Yeah, so it could very well be. It's very kind of rudimentary. Looks like it's something I would have drawn, frankly. So maybe.
It's definitely better than I can do.
I mean.
All right.
Yeah. Hang on a second. There's a tiny problem. What? I clicked something. What did I freaking click? Okay. Guys, I'm rusty. I'm sorry. I will get better by next week. So.
She won't at all. She's not even going to try.
That's a fucking lie. Yeah. So now it's my turn. And you guys know my part is never great. Usually worse than Laura's. So his penchant for impaling his enemies on stakes in the ground and leaving them to die earned him the name Vlad the Impaler. So he inflicted this type of torture on foreign and domestic enemies alike. So he was an equal opportunity torturer. Cheers. Excuse me. So in one battle on June 17th, 1462, known as the night attack at Targovist, Vlad III and Mehmed II's forces fought from 3 hours after sunset until about 4 in the morning. That's very specific for this time. Like, what monk wrote that down? It was about 4 in the morning. Yeah, about 4 in the morning? Yeah, about 4 in the morning. And it was done at the foothills of the Carpathian Mountains. The attack was an attempt to assassinate Mehmed.
I don't know. Mehmed.
Oh, you said it so convincingly that
Mehmed.
I was like, oh, she must have heard this name before.
I have heard it before, but whatever.
You're like, leave me alone.
I just forget things now. I'm old.
You're just so busy. Was an attempt to assassinate Mehmed II, but using only torches and flares, the Wallachian forces were unable to locate his tent and the alarm was raised. It's estimated that 5,000 of Vlad's men were lost to 15,000 Ottomans. That's not a fair fight. But it's pointed out that it was, quote, an act of extraordinary temerity, which is celebrated in Romanian literature and popular. Wow, I need to back off the T. Celebrated in Romanian literature and popular folklore. So, in total, I love a good statistic, Laura. In total, yeah, who doesn't? Vlad is estimated to have killed about 80,000 people through various means. This includes some 20,000 people who were impaled and put on display outside the city of Targovist. The sight was so repulsive that invading Ottoman Sultan Mehmed II, after seeing the scale of Vlad's carnage and the thousands of decaying bodies being picked apart by crows, turned back and retreated to Constantinople. Brother, I would too.
I mean, one, you don't want to own that. Nobody wants to live there. That's gross.
Right? The resale value on that just went way fucking down.
Way down. The neighbors. I mean, come on.
Right? Can you imagine what the HOA said?
Right? And this guy is busy. I was complaining about a little rugby and some Cub Scouts. I mean,
right? And he's killing 20, impaling
20,000.
Yeah.
Early.
Seriously. So Vlad's victories over the invading Ottomans were celebrated throughout Wallachia, Transylvania, and the rest of Europe. In fact, even Pope Pius II was impressed. What? Okay. Listen, I don't understand Catholicism. I don't know what impresses you guys. Laura, you guys just do you, boo. The reason he's a positive character in Romania is because he is reputed to have been a just, though a very harsh, understatement, ruler. So not long after the impalement of Ottoman prisoners of war in August 1462, Vlad was forced into exile in Hungary, unable to defeat his much more powerful adversary, Mehmed II. So even though Mehmed II was utterly repulsed and probably violently throwing up at seeing all those bodies, he still was able to defeat Vlad. He was imprisoned for a number of years during his exile, though during that same time he did get married and had 2 children. Mommy, what does Daddy do for a living?
A little bit.
That was an awkward conversation I bet she had to have. So now, remember Vlad's younger brother who wasn't cool enough to be a Vlad? He was Radu. This guy, who had sided with the Ottomans during the ongoing military campaigns, took over the governance of Wallachia after his brother's imprisonment. But after Radu's death in 1475, local noblemen, as well as the rulers of several nearby principalities, favored Vlad's return to power shortly after he was released. I mean, obviously. We got to get him out of jail before we can bring him back to, the throne or whatever.
I mean, good for Radu, though. Like, what a fuck you to all the Vlads and Vladislavs and all that. Like,
right?
I got the last fucking laugh, huh?
Here I am on the Iron Throne, and you're in fucking prison.
Right?
I mean, prison couldn't have been too bad. Prison couldn't have been too bad. He got married and had 2 kids.
Right? Conjugal visits are where it's at.
Okay. I mean, just ask Richard Ramirez. Oh, no. Sorry. sorry. That was awful. But
Oh, it was teeth.
Oh, well, he had his teeth fixed. It's fine. The teeth is the worst part for you. He fucking slaughtered like 17 people.
Yeah, but like you don't see that, like the conjugal visit thing. I just see that predator mouth fucking.
Predator mouth. Oh my God. Stay tuned for our true crime podcast, guys.
Called Predator Mouth.
Called Predator. Dude, that's kind of good. Anyway, so in 1476, while marching, let's talk about this other shitty guy. In 1476, while marching to yet another battle with the Ottomans, Vlad and a small vanguard of soldiers were ambushed. And Vlad was killed and beheaded. Eye for an eye leaves the whole world blind. What is that saying? By most reports, his head was delivered to Mehmed II in Constantinople as a trophy to be displayed above the city's gates. Why can't people just bury motherfuckers? Why are they constantly like, hey, look at all these people we killed and we're going to leave them out in our front yard to decay and get disgusting? Why?
It's a warning.
I mean, yeah, or couldn't you just get a sign that said beware of dog? Or, I mean, God.
Like, if I had a dead body at the bottom of my driveway, no one would come knock on my door.
I believe the police probably would.
I mean, maybe them. Then everybody else would leave me the fuck alone.
I mean, I sure would. That's a guarantee.
I mean, it would put a damper on my Prime deliveries, but...
They're just throwing them into the little, like, cul-de-sac area you live.
Toss them in.
They're giving them to the neighbor. Could you take that to her? I'm not going over there. Now, there is much controversy over the location of Vlad III's tomb. You know I love a good tomb. According to Konstantin Rezacevici, wow, all right. I think I killed that name in a good way. In a study published in 2002, in the Journal of Dracula Studies, which, by the way, is an actual thing. There is a Journal of Dracula Studies.
How come we are not signed up for this?
We should. I know. Is it a magazine? Can we get it monthly? What's going on here? I'll look into it.
All right.
So, it is said that he was buried in the monastery church in Snagov, sure, on the northern edge of the modern city of Bucharest. Why can't they just call it the modern day Bucharest? Why were we going through all this? In accordance with the traditions of his time. But recently, historians have questioned whether Vlad might actually be buried at the monastery of Comana between Bucharest and the Danube, which is close to the presumed location of the battle in which Vlad was killed. Okay. Also, he was such a terrible guy and like did all this horrible stuff. Granted, in the name of war, but why is he being buried in monasteries? Like, either way, I feel like that's just...
Because he defended the Holy Roman Empire against the Ottomans.
Okay. All right. Gotcha.
Yes. And also, is it just his body and not his head? Like, what happened to his head? Did they send it back?
No, it's still rotting outside Mehmed's gate.
It's just hanging out. Well, no. Constantinople is now Istanbul.
Okay, well, then it's in Istanbul in someone's front yard. I don't know.
I'll go look.
We'll be right back while Laura checks this out. So one thing is for certain, however, unlike Stoker's Count Dracula, Vlad III most definitely did die. Only the harrowing tales of his years as ruler for Wallachia remain to haunt the modern world. So that is the story of Vlad the Impaler. However, I do have some fun facts, and you guys know how much I love a good fun fact, and I have quite a few. So, Dracula is the most featured character in movies after Sherlock Holmes. Did you know that?
I'm actually kind of surprised that Dracula isn't above Sherlock Holmes, but...
Right? I was kind of surprised. Yeah, I was kind of surprised too. So the character's popularity can be gauged from the fact that more than 200 films have been made that feature him in a major role. The number is second only to Sherlock Holmes, as I said in the title. Also, more than 1,000 novels have been written which feature the vampire Dracula. And remember what Laura said. Dracula actually was his name because it was a Romanian take on Latin Dracul, which meant dragon. So his name actually was Dracula. Dracula, as we all know and love him, his gentlemanly manners are inspired from the actor Henry Irving. So Though previously vampires were often portrayed as repulsive, corpse-like creatures, Bram Stoker's Dracula displays an aristocratic charm. And I have to say, I absolutely loved Gary Oldman as Dracula.
It was great.
Fuck, he was so great. Oh my God. His real life inspiration for the dramatic sweeping gestures and gentlemanly mannerisms of Dracula was actor-manager Henry Irving, who is also the first actor to be awarded a knighthood, which I think is really cool because, I love everything about the British monarchy. Bram Stoker hoped that Irving would play Dracula in a stage version, but it never happened. So the novel, the infamous novel, is partly influenced by earlier vampire fiction. So although Dracula is the most famous vampire novel, it's actually not the first. It's partly inspired by the Gothic novella Carmilla, which was written 26 years earlier. Written by Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu, Carmilla tells the story of a lesbian vampire who preys on a lonely young woman. So, you're writing the book down, aren't you? You're writing the title down.
Mom, what was this again? I'm sorry. Erotic fiction? What?
Yeah. Joseph Sheridan Le Fanu. It's called Carmilla. Another significant vampire novel before Dracula is Varney the Vampire by James Malcolm Rymer. It was published in 1847. Varney the Vampire significantly influenced vampire fiction, including Dracula. However, I do have to say that Varney the Vampire kind of makes me think of that Barney guy, like Ed. Oh God, I can't remember his name. Varney. Ed Varney. I don't know. Sorry, guys. If you know who I'm talking about. Wore a baseball cap, was a hick, had a real thick Southern accent, and Ed... Whatever. It's not important. Anyway, Dracula was actually not initially a success, and it didn't earn much money for Bram Stoker. So...
I'm surprised by, to be honest.
I agree. I absolutely agree. So I'm going to show you this picture. This is Bram Stoker, who's a very good looking man, and the first edition copy of Dracula.
He's hot. This is...
He's a good looking man.
Yeah?
I like the beard. I like the beard. It's very neat and I don't know.
He has like a 5 head and squinty little eyes. I mean, I really can't say anything about that because, hey.
Yeah, man.
But...
You're in love with a lesbian vampire.
Don't talk bad about Carmilla.
Don't make me set Carmilla on you.
You don't want to find out what happened.
In fact, the last year of Bram Stoker's life, he was so poor that he had to petition for a compassionate grant from the Royal Literary Fund.
I mean, same brother.
Yeah. I mean, how are we coming on our book, by the way? Anywho, in 1922... an unauthorized adaptation of the novel titled Nosferatu was released in theaters. During the resulting legal battle between Bram Stoker's widow and the director, the popularity of the novel began to grow. And in 1931, an American movie version was released, which was directed by Todd Browning, with the one and only Bela Lugosi playing the title character. Since then, the novel has never been out of print and has reached a legendary, iconic status.
That's really cool.
Oops, sorry about that. I swear I'll get this down, guys. I promise. So, shut up. So, the 1931 movie Dracula is considered a classic. It was a blockbuster, and today it is widely regarded as a classic in its genre. In 2000, the United States Library of Congress deemed the film culturally significant and selected it for preservation in the National Film Registry. Now, in 2003, Count Dracula, as portrayed by Bela Lugosi, was named the 33rd greatest movie villain by the American Film Institute.
That's cool.
Right? All because of this freaking Vlad the Impaler, who didn't mind the smell of a rotting corpse. So, as we, mentioned in the beginning, due to Dracula, Transylvania is associated with vampires. Again, Dracula is one of the most famous characters. It appears frequently in popular culture, from literature to stage to films to games to songs to comics to breakfast cereals. Which also, Count Dracula is one of Koi's favorite cereals. He has been... And he count, right? Oh, and then the Count from Sesame Street.
Right.
Yes. He has been portrayed by more actors in more visual media adaptations of the novel than any other horror character. It's crazy, right? Mm-hmm. Transylvania, which is the abode of the Count in the novel, has become commonly associated with vampires in the English-speaking world, because you know how dumb we are. Now, I will say, these are my last 3 fun facts. The vampire, or Dracula, is the second most popular Halloween costume in the United States, with 1.7 million adults dressing up as the infamous, iconic holiday character. First place, a witch, with 5.3 million people dressing up as a witch. However, this podcast's favorite costume, a ghost, comes in at number 3, with 1.5 million people dressing up as our beloved mascot. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Vlad the Impaler.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
I read these, okay, they're YA books, don't judge me, but but they were really entertaining. Actually, I had put them on in my scribed audio books.
Oh,
and they take a lot of characters from, I don't know how you want to say it, like older fiction. So like Sherlock Holmes.
Okay.
There's Carmilla's in there. You have Vlad is in there. It's the daughter of like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde and stuff like that.
Oh, so really?
They're really good. The first one is the case of the curious case of the alchemist's daughter. There's 3 of them.
Is this Nancy Drew?
No, they're by Theodora Goss. The Strange Case of the Alchemist's Daughter.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if
it sounded very Nancy Drew-y.
Listeners are into that. They're very entertaining.
That's really cool.
I did give one to my niece, and she really liked it too. So.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just. It was something, while I'm working to listen to, but I ended up really enjoying them, and I was like, "Oh, these are so fun."
That's so great. That's really great.
I really like them.
Yeah, I think I probably would actually. You know what? I'm gonna be honest, and I don't actually care what anyone thinks, but I was a big fan of the Twilight movies and the books. I read all the books. I watched all the movies. I really thought that was a very interesting story. Wasn't like super into the whole glittering vampire, but there have been so many takes on the vampire and on Dracula. And when Laura and I were discussing like, okay, what are we going to cover for this year's Halloween episode? I got to thinking, well, what's the most popular Halloween costume? And, Dracula is so iconic. Turns out he's the number 2 most popular, but that's okay. A witch is, kind of dope. I think that's pretty cool. I kind of am bummed that Ghost is only number 3, but at least it's in the top 5. Also, this hat, guys, I'm ditching it.
But yeah, I mean, it's iconic. Yeah. Everybody knows vampires, Dracula.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The lore, garlic, crosses, holy water.
The whole bit in a coffin and bats and, all kinds of stuff. There was a show on Netflix. I think it was Netflix. and it was an English show. It was like a 5-part series about a vampire. God, I'm sorry I brought it up because now I'm like, I don't even remember, but it was so good. It was really good, and god damn it, I don't remember. Yeah, I'll post it on the social
Well,
media.
those, I mean, just think about it like those, the Vampire Diary shows, and then all those
Oh
spin-offs
yeah,
that they had. Those are hugely popular still.
hugely
I
popular.
think
Yeah.
they're still on. I think some of them
God
are still
damn.
on.
Sorry,
I'm not positive, but
I'm
What We Do in the
spilling my
Shadows.
tea.
Do you know that show, What We Do in the Shadows? It's on FX, and you can catch it
Yes.
on Hulu.
Uh huh.
I cannot get enough of that show. I think it's fucking
Really?
hilarious. I love the premise. They're vampires, of course, and it's just hysterical. I love it.
Yeah.
Love
Yeah.
that show. So
Yeah.
glad that they
It's
just did a new season, and I
yeah.
think it was nominated for some Emmys or something. So
Oh shit, really? Okay.
yeah,
I think I would
I
really
love it.
enjoy it. I really do love a good vampire story. Um, Bram Stoker's Dracula, the movie, is one of my very, very favorites. I have always been in love with Winona Ryder. I have always been in love with Keanu Reeves. And Gary Oldman was just so intriguing and enticing and scary in that in that in that movie. And
He's a fantastic actor.
oh god,
Hands down.
isn't he wonderful? Isn't he wonderful? Oh my god, he played Churchill. He was so good. Anyway, this is not a podcast about Gary Oldman, but maybe we should
Could be.
start
It
one.
could be.
Maybe we should start one. So yeah, guys, that is Vlad the Impaler, the inspiration for one of the most popular horror figures in the world, Dracula. So, yeah, to that end, Laura, that's all I got. Do you have anything to close out this Halloween episode?
Just happy Halloween, everybody. I hope that you have a very safe and fun time. Um, if anybody gives you
this hat
THC
thing.
gummies, go ahead and just send them on to me. People don't really have those out. I wish. All right. That's all I got.
Everybody go to Laura's because we know what she's gonna fucking have.
I got full size candy bars.
I know, right? I never went to a house that had full-size candy bars, but Coy used to go trick-or-treating at his grandparents' house, and they lived in like Central Phoenix, and their neighborhood was really cool. They'd block off the streets so that the kids could have a really safe trick-or-treating experience. And a couple of the houses gave out full-size candy bars. So when we bought, this is the first house we've ever lived in and the first house I've ever bought. So when we moved here, Coy was like, I really want to give out full-size candy bars because that was just so cool and so fun. And I was like, oh God, that's cheap. Sure, buddy. So the kids were so excited though that they were like, "Oh my god, it's a full-size Snickers!" You know, like so. I understood why he wanted to do it because they were so excited. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be. I have the best neighbors. It's the best community, and I mean, obviously, if anybody's, people are giving out shots just to walk down the road, those are my people. Let's do this. I'll give your kids full-size candy bars. You give me a Jello shot. It's fine. So yeah. Yeah, have a safe Halloween. If you guys are going to be trick-or-treating late into the night, I always recommend the fun glow sticks. I love a good glow stick. I'm going to be a raver at heart for the rest of my life. So just let's wear glow sticks just because. But yes, be safe. Check your children's candy. And if you're not unsure why you should do that, go take a listen to last year's Halloween episode where we covered, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like Halloween, what, traditions and myths or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, something along those lines. Anyway, I have more flower wine to drink. And yeah, Laura has probably rugby to head off to after this.
I wish I could go like this. Wouldn't that be awesome?
I mean, that would be kind of cool.
Actually,
You
the
would
makeup is starting to bug me now. It's like itchy, and I can't like touch my face without getting covered in it. So I'm like, I want to wash it off.
Well, yeah, you are wearing that Halloween makeup. Meanwhile, this is literally like my own
That's
makeup.
just your Thursday look.
This is just my Thursday makeup. So I'm like, what are you talking about? My eyes are totally fine. Anyway, Laura, why don't you let everybody know where they can follow us? Oh, it's not working. God damn it. I hate everything. I regret it all.
You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at HOAH Podcast. And on the TikTok at HOH Podcast, at HOH Carrie, and at HOH co-host Laura.
And that is it, guys. Happy Halloween. We hope you are going to be safe. We hope you have a ton of fun. And we hope you enjoyed this episode. We will see you next week with brand new content. We are not planning on taking any kind of leave for the next several months. And to that end, we say goodbye. Bye.
Bye.